Chapter 15. I discover some more facts. The next day, I was walking home from work. Of course, I was asking myself if I should go to meet my doppelganger, János Szabó, for the third time on the 18th of January. As I went along a street, I saw some men putting up a new sign on an old shop. There was the owner's name in red, and below it the word Szabó in green. In the window there were suits, jackets, and trousers. Szabó. Tailor. The tailor's was getting a new sign. Szabó, I thought. Then I said, János Szabó, out loud. Then I thought, János the tailor. John the tailor. John Taylor. I stopped in the street. János Szabó was John Taylor. My doppelganger and I shared a name. John Taylor was the English for the Hungarian János Szabó. My hair stood up. He was something new and important. We shared the same name. I needed a drink, so I went into Zsolt's bar and thought about what I'd discovered. I tried to decide what to do. Should I tell Andrea about this? Perhaps it would help her to believe me. I didn't know. I remembered the man in my new dream last night, in the destroyed cellar, looking for something. I decided to go and see Mrs. Fisher again. I walked quickly round to Felka Utca and went inside and up to her flat. "Do you remember I came to ask you about János Szabó, Mrs. Fisher?" I asked when she let me in. "Oh, the poor young man," she said, looking at me sadly. "And do you know something? You look so like him, too." This was quite a surprise. "Really?" I asked. "Come here, under the light," she said. I moved under the strong light in the hall. "Yes," she said, looking at me carefully. "You look very much the same. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, very much the same. I didn't look at you carefully when you came last time. Oh, the poor young man." I felt myself getting very hot. "Mrs. Fisher, I came to ask you something different," I said. Then I went on very slowly, because I was so afraid of her possible answer. "Can you remember the names of the wife and daughter who were killed in the cellar?" "Well, I know the wife was called Andrea," she started, and I felt my face go white. "But as for the little girl, let's think." I waited for a moment. She didn't seem able to remember. "It wasn't—" I waited, and then said, "It wasn't Cotty, was it?" Mrs. Fisher looked at me and smiled. "Yes, that was it," she said. "Quite right. Andrea and Cotty. The poor young things." I thanked her and left as quickly as I could. My head was turning round and round. I felt sick. Outside in the cold street, I stood against the wall of the building. There were too many new things inside my head to understand at once. My doppelganger had the same name as me, Sobo, or Taylor. I looked like him, and his wife and daughter had the same names as mine. I started to ask myself how many other things about our lives were the same. The next week, I went to the Public Records Office in my lunch break. This is the office where they keep information about everyone who lives in Hungary today, and also about people who lived there in the past. I asked for information about János Sobo, who had lived in Felka utca in 1945 and died in 1956. It was surprisingly easy with their new computers. By now, I almost expected the information that the assistant gave me. That János had been born on the 23rd of October. That was my birthday, too. I was now sure that all these facts about his life and mine were not just the same by chance. I believed my doppelganger was trying to tell me something important, but I didn't know what. I wanted to talk about it with Andrea, but that still seemed impossible. First of all, she wouldn't listen to me, and then, even if she did listen, I didn't think she would understand. Or she wouldn't want to understand because she was too worried by the story. I decided to wait and see if I could meet my doppelganger again, on the 18th of January.